Hello everybody, so this is the next video in the astrological star signs traits, and this one is for the star sign of Cancer. Cancerians are really interesting people. They are very complex individuals who come across as being quite conservative and home-loving people. It's really important that they have familiar surroundings around them and that they really nurture the relationships that are important to them. They're really kind of people whose home and family are everything. So some of the positive characteristics for a Cancerian: one is they're very imaginative people. They can think outside of the box, one of those terms that I'm not overly fond of, but they tend to think differently to other people. They tend to look at problems and issues from a different viewpoint and may come up with different solutions to other people. The problem with all this is, of course, they can be over imaginative, so that rather than seeing the straightforward answer, the most simple and straightforward, they'll always look for something different, something maybe they haven't tried before. So sometimes it's like creating issues where there weren't any. They're quite intuitive as people. Your intuition, of course, being your inner guide that is leading you to happiness and to be true to yourself. So it gives you little nudges, and Cancerians really pay attention to them and really listen to what their inner guide is telling them. So rather than logic and reason and fact, a Cancerian will go on their intuition and their gut feelings and their emotions to make a decision. They're very loyal and giving people, very faithful if they really care about you, and whereas some other star signs may kind of give to receive, it's always about what they can get in return. For a Cancerian, it's not. If they care about you, they will be there for you and love you and give you everything you want, but not necessarily expecting anything back. They're very loving as people. Cancerians are famous for, like a crab, for having a tough outer shell. So when a problem gets too hard, they kind of retreat inwards, and can have this kind of outer layer that you can't get too close. But if they really love somebody, you can really get through that and see the real them. And once you do that, because it's such a hard thing to do, they will absolutely adore you and love you and give you everything that you could possibly desire. So yes, it's a bit of work, it's a bit of a challenge, but it's certainly worth it in the end. They're very emotional people. They may come across initially as being a bit cold and a bit detached, but actually it's simply a way of protecting themselves, that hard outer shell thing. But inside, they actually feel all the emotions quite deeply, being a water sign. So they're very in touch with their emotions, they'll feel their emotions, they're quite sensitive. So again, don't pay attention sometimes to that hard outer shell, because there's a lot more going on underneath. They're also very protective, so anything that they feel belongs to them, or they have an interest in, whether it's people or their home or their possessions or whatever it is, they're going to be very protective over and make sure that nobody hurts them or nobody takes them away. Like all people, they have their negative traits as well. I've already mentioned about the thing about the hard outer shell a few times. They can be very moody at times, and their mood swings can be quite unpredictable. So just because they've been through something, or you expect them to react a certain way, doesn't mean they're going to, and their moods can change quite quickly without any kind of warning. So it's quite disconcerting for people who aren't used to that. It's quite overwhelming at times. They can be quite pessimistic. If they suffer any kind of setback or failure, then they kind of go into a bit of a downward spiral and can't seem to pull themselves out of it. So, if one thing goes bad, then everything's bad. It's like they're not just having a bad day, they actually then have a bad life. And it's really hard to kind of pull them out of it and make them feel positive again. And sometimes, actually, the best thing to do, speaking from experience, the best thing to do is give them some space and to let them work their way through it rather than try and pull them through it, because they will eventually snap out of it, though it may take some time. Cancerians can be a bit clingy at times. It's really hard because they care so deeply and they feel their emotions so deeply that they don't want to lose what they have. When they feel love, they like feel it right down to the very core of their being. And so they worry then that it's not going to last, but that pessimism thing again, they worry that they're going to lose people. So they can perceive it as being a bit possessive and a bit clingy, which, you know, is lovely if you feel the same way. But it can get a bit stifling at times if you're someone who needs your own space. They can be over-emotional because they're so sensitive and they feel emotions, like I said, so deeply. If they feel that they've been hurt in some way, they can really hold it against you and really hold a grudge. And they tend to hold things forever. You know, these are the people who are not going to just, you know, let it go and move on and walk away from the stuff. Even if they've been hurt years and years and years and years and years ago, they're still going to carry it around with them. They can also be a bit suspicious. They worry about other people's intentions and what's not being shown and what's not being said. So don't be surprised if they're the ones who are going to question you a lot and check on what you're saying, check your facts. And they can be quite naggers at times as well, because they're quite pessimistic. They can kind of get on at you a little bit, especially if they want things done their way. But overall, as always, Cancerians are lovely, lovely people. They care about you 150%, and they'll be very loyal and will stick by your side. So once you've got a Cancerian in your life who cares about you, they will care about you forever. Unless you hurt them, in which case they will be hurt forever. But they're lovely, lovely people, and you know, I say once you get past that outer shell, you'd be surprised. There's a really warm and loving and caring, soft bit underneath. So it's worth the effort, it really is. So I'll make some more videos soon. I hope you guys have a really good day, and lots of love and light. Bye.